जय हिंद एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू द जो स्क्वाड। हमारी प्रीवियस एपिसोड की तरह प्लीज कीप अप्रिशिएटिंग अस एंड प्लीज सब्सक्राइब बिफोर वी डाइव इनटू। I hope all of you can see the screen. So welcome back to another episode of What's Up in the Week, episode 5. We'll be going ahead with all the current affairs that have been happening in the last week. So let's get on with it. First, we'll start with October 5th, 2024. The shortest good news to know. External Affairs Minister Jay Shankar to visit Pakistan for the first time in nearly a decade. The SCO's head of government meeting. WHO gives approval to first monkeypox diagnostic test. The emergency use of Alinity MMPXV assay has been approved. So this is very important for your defense exam. The WHO point. With China dominating the critical minerals trade, India and US signed a MOU to expand and diversify critical minerals supply chain. And US British airstrikes were launched at several parts of Yemen. So this happened on October 5th. At least 28 Naxalites killed in Chhattisgarh operation. The incident happened in the Narayanpur district of the left-wing extremism affected Bastar region. This is the second biggest operation against Naxalism this year in terms of the casualties inflicted by the state. Second biggest. The number of Naxals killed by the forces this year has shot up to 185. The one article to read is the other monsoon. Better modeling of the impact of northeastern monsoon is essential. Jaishankar meets Dissanayake, pledges India's support for economic recovery. The discussions covered India's security interests, the persisting fisheries conflicts, and pending political settlement of Sri Lanka's Tamils. India pledged to assist Sri Lanka in tourism, investment, electricity, energy services, and the dairy industry. India's monetary support totaled to nearly $4 billion since the economic crisis of Sri Lanka. So this is an important point. Please remember this figure, as well as what all India has pledged to assist Sri Lanka in. That is tourism, investment, electricity, energy services, and the dairy industry. External Affairs Minister also raised concerns pertaining to the Indian fishermen who are detained in Sri Lanka. This is also a very important issue pertaining to India and Sri Lanka. E-office system shutdown derails administrative work in railways. For about a week, the work has affected across Indian Railways after National Informatics Center e-office, a product of RailTel, crashed. The NIC e-office is a work-based flow system that replaced the existing manual handling of files and is in operation in more than 236 establishments of the railways. It did not affect the passenger and freight train operations as there is an independent and dedicated IT infra for those services. The application also hosts services of EPFO, IRCTC, etc. Now let's take a look at sports. Indian men's team wins rapid fire pistol gold. Rajvardhan Patil and Mukesh Nilavali missed the individual medals in 25-meter rapid fire pistol, but won the team gold along with Harsimar Singh Ratha in the World Junior Shooting Championship in Lima, Peru. Now we've come to October 6th. The NIA conducted searches at 26 locations in different parts of the country and arrested an alleged operative of Jaish-e-Mohammed. DRDO announced the completion of the development trials of the indigenously developed 4th-gen miniaturized very short range air defense system, or VSH-ORAD. So this is important. Sri Lanka approved a controversial restructure of $14.7 billion in foreign commercial credit. This has been proposed by the IMF to rebuild the island's economy. 14.7 billion. Medium transport aircraft will replace AN-32, IL-76 fleets of Indian Air Force. The MTA, medium transport aircraft. One moment, sorry. In the 18 to 30 ton category will soon be procured by the IF. AN-32 and IL-76 is an aging fleet and needs to be replaced. IF 80 such MTAs and possible targets are Airbus A400M, Lockheed Martin C-130, and Embraer C390. So for defense acquisition, this is very important. Please keep this in mind. I would suggest noting it down along with the video. Next is anti-cancer drugs to support QR codes to check fakes. The government may soon make it mandate to attach quick response or QR codes to every vial and strip of medication marketed in India to ensure a rigorous track and trace mechanism. This was proposed by the DTAB, Drug Technical Advisory Board, and is a part of the CDSCO, Central Drugs Standard Control Organization. Another article is how are tanks armoring Ladakh sector? Why is the modern battlefield seeing a revival of tanks? What has India developed on the line of actual control? What are the difficulties due to terrain and altitude? What is the threat from China? What are the Indian Army's future plans to fortify the border areas? This is very important to know about India's readiness for the China challenge. Next is the sports. Suraj Sharma and Devanshi won the gold in men's and women's standard pistol, respectively, in the World Junior Shooting Championship in Lima. It was a clean sweep for the women as Parisha Gupta and Manvi Jain won the silver and bronze in standard pistol. Next is the WFI decides not to field team in Worlds. October 7th, 2024. The five languages that were given the classical status was because of the dropping of a provision that mandated a language to have originally literary condition. The union government on Saturday restored the policy of recruiting railways officers through the CSE, Civil Service Examination, and the Engineering Services Examination. Aiming to eradicate child marriage by 2026, Assam Chief Minister. He announced that this while disbursing the first installment under the Mukha Mantri Nijut Moina, a scheme for girls to receive a fixed monthly payment to pursue higher education. The scheme entails transferring a fixed amount to the accounts of 10 lakh girls for a set amount of time. The scheme does not apply to the daughters of ministers, MPs, and MLAs. A beneficiary cannot marry until she completes her graduation. A three-tier war in Asia with no endgame. This is very important to gaining knowledge on the current conflicts in the Middle East. The Indian Air Force plans to procure 12 early warning aircraft. The Indian Air Force, in short, is short of airborne early warning and control aircraft. The procurement is being targeted under two different programs. One of them is a follow-on order of 6 AEWC systems mounted on Embraer aircraft. The other order pertains to 6 AWC system under development by the DRDO that would be mounted on Airbus A321. IF also operates 3 Israeli Falcon airborne warning and control systems along with the Netra AWC. All these names are important. Israeli Falcon is important. The status of the civil war in Sudan. Right now, civil war is going on in Sudan. All those who are preparing for SSB, very important for in the international sector for your GD and lecturate. Krish Tyagi wins a double crown in Uzbekistan. Krish Tyagi won a double crown in the ITF Junior Tennis Tournament in Fergana, Uzbekistan. October 8th, 2024. Union Health Ministry doubled the monthly nutrition support under the Nikshay Poshan Yojana for TB patients to INR 1000. TB patients to also be covered under the Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. India nudges UAE, the fourth largest foreign investor in India in 2023 with a FDI of $3.5 billion to scale its commitment to invest $75 billion in the country to $100 billion. The Medicine Nobel Prize has been given. Victor Ambrose and Gary Rufkin have been jointly awarded the Nobel Prize for Physiology for 2024. This is a very important, Hamesha in CDS and NDA, all these exams, Nobel Prize का question हमेशा आता है. So please note it down. Keep this. I would say keep a sort of like a kunji or a sort of like a notebook for your GK that you can refer to बाद में. They were awarded the prestigious prize for the discovery of microRNA and its role in post-transcriptional gene regulation. India gives $750 million currency swap agreement. India signed a major currency swap agreement with Maldives to help the island nation tide over its current forex crunch. The agreement has been signed between the two under the SARC currency swap framework and will be available until 2027. It allows the payments between the two countries to be made in different currencies. Agreement for the launch of RuPay card in Maldives and handover of 700 houses built with assistance by India was also signed. DMRC shifts to new mobility cards amid privacy concerns. Delhi Metro Rail Corporation has stopped issuing the closed loop smart cards and are replacing them with National Common Mobility Cards, NCMCs is what they're called, introduced in 2019 as a part of One Nation, One Card for seamless travel across various modes of transportation. One more article to read: a rebalancing of India's great power relations. India slipped on academic freedom index over the past decade. Over the past 10 years, India has slipped on the academic freedom index ranks. It is published by the Scholars at Risk SAR Academic Freedom Monitoring Project. SAR is a network of 665 varsities across the globe. India slipped from zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.2 points. According to the Academic Freedom Index, India now ranks as completely restricted. Public input sought for IT Act review. The Central Board of Direct Taxes invited inputs and suggestions from taxpayers and the public at large for changes in the Income Tax Act. The inputs can be submitted under four categories. First is language simplification, litigation reduction, compliance reduction, and redundant. And fourth is redundant or obsolete provisions. Vihan and Sabina win mixed trap bronze. Shardul Vihan and Sabina Harris won 138 and shot 138 and won the mixed trap bronze in the World Junior Shooting Championship that was conducted in Lima. October 9th, 2024. We moved on to October 9th. The short is good to know. 2024 Nobel Prize in Physics has been awarded to John Hopfield and Geoffrey Hinton. Again, the first one was in physiology, now it's in physics. For foundational discoveries and inventions that enable machine learning with artificial neural networks. Myanmar will send a foreign ministry officials as its representative to the Asian summit for the first time in 3 years. Asian had barred Myanmar's junta leaders from its summit in the wake of their 2021 coup. India has eliminated trachoma, says WHO. WHO recognizes India as has eliminated trachoma, a bacterial infection that affects the eyes, as a public health problem. India is the third nation in Southeast Asia to reach this public health milestone. It's a very important point. From solidarity to sued, India's shift on Palestine. One more article to read. Mindfulness India Summit scheduled for October 17 to 18. Third edition of the annual Mindfulness India Summit will be held on 17th October. It aims to equip leaders and professionals with essential strategies to create healthier, more empathetic work environments. It is organized by the Mindful Science Center and will explore the topics of mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and neuroscience. 30 international experts will gather in the summit. Rajnath, German counterpart, discuss defense trade ties. Ahead of German Chancellor Olaf Scholz' visit to India's defense minister and Boris Pistorius discuss ways to strengthen defense industrial collaboration and supply chain resilience. The visit comes amid the decision on the qualifying bids in the Indian Navy's multi-billion-dollar deal for 6 conventional submarines, in which there is a competition between Germany and Spain. The mega deal is under the project 751. Now we moved on to October 10th. The Assam IPS dedicated the National Film Award for his documentary film on the greater adjutant stock to an army of women that saved the large birds from extinction. 2024 Nobel Prize for Chemistry was shared by David Baker for computational protein design, along with Demis Hassabis and John Jumper for protein structure prediction. Union Cabinet gives nod for continuation of free fortified rice supply till December 2028. The Rice Fortification Initiative would continue as a central sector initiative for 100% funding by the center in order to ensure inclusive nutritional security in the nation. The move is aimed at addressing the anemia and micronutrients deficiency. Rice fortification means the addition of fortified rice kernels enriched with micronutrients, iron, folic acid, B12 to regular rice. Rice will be provided under programs such as Targeted Public Distribution System, Integrated Child Development Service, and PM Poshan in all states and union territories. Bengaluru to switch to AI-powered traffic signals. The traffic police of the city is all set to switch to AI-powered real-time adaptive traffic signals at major junctions. The move is part of the Bangalore Adaptive Traffic Control System, BATCS. It is important. A technology initiative designed to streamline traffic flow and reduce manual intervention at traffic signals. It is the ability to monitor and control traffic signals from a central command center. This is very, very important in the field of technology. CCS clears deals for 31 MQNBs, 31 MQNBs, drones and submarines. The Cabinet Committee on Security (CCS) approved two high-profile deals for the purchase of 31 MQ9Bs, high altitude long endurance (HALE) UAVs from General Atomics of US and indigenous construction of two nuclear attack submarines. These are also called Predators. The drones are for the three services. India has already manufactured nuclear powered ballistic missile submarines, and SSN project will be a follow out of that. Modi to hold bilateral talks with leaders and Asian Indian Summit, 21st Asian India and the 19th East Asia Summits. India marks a decade of the Act East policy this year. Apart from the regional leaders, the Laos will host the Australian PM Anthony Albanese. EU's CBM deforestation norms unilateral arbitrary. The EU's initiatives such as Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism (CABM) and deforestation rules are arbitrary, as said by the Finance Minister of India. They were hurt. They will hurt the countries like India and stifle economic growth as well as green energy transition goals. CABM is a trade barrier for countries like India. This is what Nirmala Sitharaman, Finance Minister of India, has said. Now we move on to October 11th. The Union Home Ministry declared Hizb ul Tahrir (HUT) a terrorist organization under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. HUT is active in Bangladesh also. Uzbekistan accepts Afghanistan ambassador in a win for Taliban. After 2 years of Europe-centric Nobel Prizes in literature, the Swedish Academy has looked east this year. 2024 prize goes to South Korean writer Han Kang for her intense poetic prose that confronts historical traumas and exposes the fragility of human life. Info on CEA beneficiaries is not readily available, says MHA. The Ministry of Home Affairs, while responding to RTI application filed by the Hindu, said only readily available info may be provided. The CPIO, Central Public Information Officer, is not required to create or compile the info for supplying to the applicant under the RTI Act 2005. This clearly shows the lack of transparency. The MHA also said earlier that it does not have the provision to maintain a record of the number of applications received under the CA. The records are not being maintained as a CA does not have the provision to maintain the records of applications. Grueling course of litigation in India. Telemental health assistance to reach Puducherry soon. Union territories of Lakshadweep and Puducherry will soon be covered under the National Telemental Health Program of India and offer the Telemanas services. Telemanas was started in 2022. Very important, very, very important, and seeks to function as a comprehensive, integrated, and inclusive 24/7 telemental health facility. Complaints like sleep disturbances, sadness of mood, stress, anxiety are the top ones. Can India escape middle income trap? India, Asian nations look at linking payment systems. India will share its knowledge and experience in using digital public infrastructure such as Aadhaar, Unified Payments Infrastructure (UPI), and Asian nations with the Asian nations and explore collaboration to address diverse challenges in education, healthcare, agriculture, and climate change. The 21st Asian Summit has been held in Laos, and the other topics discussed were maritime safety and security, freedom of navigation, and overflight in the region. तो आज की वीडियो में बस इतना ही. आप हमसे दोबारा कनेक्ट होंगे. Till then, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp, and LinkedIn. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
So that's it from today's video, and please follow us on every social media platform for more such good content. And Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.